Good morning, good evening, everyone, depending on the time zone you're in. We are very happy to have this live session on the new year. So, Happy New Year, everyone. And we will take questions. We are ready to take questions. So, let me quickly go over some of the questions we are getting. For those of us who don't know us, we are with USMLE Sarthi. We help you in all aspects of the match, whether it is your interview prep, ERAS application, personal statement, residency. You can look up our website. We are starting enrollment for the new season now. And we also help you in mentorship regarding step one and the exams. So, very quickly, I will go over the questions, and I do have my team member, Dr. Reddy, who is on the channel, and he will also take questions. Hopefully, you can all hear me. So, just type if you cannot hear, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the first questions, does the letter of intent matter now? So the letter of intent can play a role even in this month, January or the next. While the season is all virtual, there are cancellations and the programs may open up more slots for the interview. Majority of your interviews will come as part of your profile, but your interest as you demonstrate to the programs also helps. Don't have huge expectations from the letter of intent, but definitely a couple of interviews you can still land based on the letter. So there was a recent video that we did that you can watch, and I think Dr. Reddy is going to post that link. So watch that video on letter of intent. Next question, should I accept a pre-match given that I'm a non-US IMG and the season is so uncertain? So definitely, of course, this season is different than the previous ones, and the number of interviews IMGs are getting uh, may vary, but the number of spots the program have on offer doesn't appear to have changed. In any season, the pre-match, if you have a pre-match, you got to consider various factors. What is the total number of interviews in the specialty that you have? So keyword here is the number of interviews in that specialty. If you have 4 or 5 or more, let's say, then you can consider rejecting the pre-match. Less than 5, it is too risky to reject a pre-match. Second, I always say, where would you rank that pre-match program hypothetically if it were in your ROL, on your rank order list? If the pre-match program hypothetically would be in the top 4 of your 4 or 5 of your rank order list, then you can go for the pre-match, because match is uncertain. You may not rank match at your first program. This, of course, assumes that the rank order list captures all the variables impacting your situation. So that brings me to the next question. How should I start thinking of the rank order list? What factors should be kept in mind? So there are various factors, and of course, the importance will vary with each applicant. We're actually going to post a video later today on the factors you consider for rank order list. But some of the most common ones are, whether it's a university program or a community program. What is the career path of the recent graduates? Does it have in-house fellowships? For some people, geography, the location plays a role. Program reputation is another one that you should consider. And visa you want. So obviously J1 and H1B, that discussion, if you need a visa, those are important things. And then, in some ways, where do the programs allow you to do electives, the cross-institutional collaboration that the programs may have. All that factors can get into the rank order list discussions, but we will have a video very soon for you that you can watch. Research or rotations, which one is important for me to focus on for the next match? So clinical experience is more important in general than research. If you think you have enough USC, whether it's on-site or tele, you can focus on research. Outcomes based research, obviously, like manuscript and some of the other outcomes based, is definitely more important. And after research, you can think about step 3 as well. Now, in this day and age, getting a research position at, say, a Harvard, a Hopkins, a Cleveland Clinic may not be that easy because of the coronavirus. They may have positions all suspended, but you can do independent research. In fact, we are starting our next research class on January 9th. So look up our website, and that may be something you want to consider. And then the other thing I want to announce is that we are starting a free profile review. So for those of you who are interested in uh, applying for next season, we do every year we do a profile review. I can post a link here, and you can set up time and discuss your profile and readiness for next year. So that's something that you may want to do. I'm going to post this here right now. So for those of you who are interested, can look at it. What does it mean if a program says you are on the waiting list and if you send an email to them? So if you are on waiting list, it just means that the current slots are full and they don't have any interview spots for you. However, if there is a cancellation or if they open up more interview spots, they are likely to consider you for the interview. The way to go about this is to check in with them weekly or every 10 days by email. That would be the best way to do it. Next question, when can I expect to hear back from the pre-match programs? So it depends. Each pre-match program works differently, but there are some similarities. If they find a suitable fit, they can make the offer the same day or within a couple of days of the interviews. And we see it all the time, whether it is Vice Memorial, Bronx, Interfaith, whichever the program it is, they can all make the offer the same day or within a couple of days. For the other applicants, they may want to wait as they interview more applicants, and then they get back to you only maybe after a few days or even a month. The good news is they do need to fill all the spots outside of the NRMP match. So they'll let you know at least a few days before the rank order list of their decision if they accept you, and then you can withdraw from the match. Next question, if a program insists on no post-interview communication, does it mean not even a thank you note? And that is right. If they tell you not to communicate with them, then please don't. Else it will come across that you are not paying attention to these minor details, and it can have a negative effect. And we have covered this in another video. So, I can post a link, or Dr. Reddy can post a link of this. The other question, how are programs weighing telerotations for this and the next seasons? Should I go ahead and do these telerotations? So our students have done telerotations, actually more than 150 in the past season from January through December, and they haven't reported any negative impact of the telerotations, the interviews. What the programs want to make sure as you do any rotation is that you have strong understanding of the US healthcare system, that you can follow the concept of evidence-based medicine, show the execution of these concepts in the patient care situation, and including examples of case discussion, presentations, and how the patient-centric approach works. So what our students have reported in the interview, what programs look for in telerotations, they are focused mostly on the learnings of the student. They want to know how your telerotation was structured, how many hours per week have you had this telerotation, example of case presentation and discussion. What did you learn about evidence-based medicine in telerotations? Did you have EMR access? So if you need more information on telerotation, it is on our website. Feel free to check it out. Next question, I didn't get any interviews till now. Is there still hope to get interviews for this match? So it'll be hard if you have no interviews till now, since it means that you have not made the first cut at most of these programs. But there is still hope, and it'll depend on the cancellations that the programs get, and if they open up new spots, so you can continue to follow up with the program. Remember, even if you get one or two interviews, which actually is a good probability, you can still match as long as you are prepared for your interview prep. If there is a gap of 2 years after MBBS in my CV, will they get the interviews or not? So I'm assuming this question is for the next season. Now, many IMGs have gaps. If you're applying for the next season, you can obviously explain these gaps in your PS. They do want to see what has changed now in your application and if you're ready. Gaps by itself are acceptable. You have to demonstrate your commitment and readiness to start. So this can be demonstrated by USCE, research, and so on. Do they prefer recent year of graduations? Yes. Everything else being equal, but everything else is never equal. So you cannot really control your year of graduation if you've already graduated. So you can focus on other aspects like scores, research, US clinical experience, and so on. But yes, everything else being equal, recent graduation always helps. I heard that this season is different, and even people with decent profiles are ending up getting less interviews. So, what are the pointers or indicators in the season that will tell me if there is really something wrong with my application and I need to revisit my application to see what's going on? So, that's a very important question, actually. Scores alone are not getting that many interviews as in the previous season. So, that is one difference we have seen. USC is really helping. Even if you had USC, you are getting interviews. Research is definitely big this season, even if it is self-directed research. Many of our older graduation students are getting interviews based on the strong research profile. So that is helping. LOR's letter of recommendations are playing more important role this year because, as you can imagine, this is a virtual season. Many programs have never even seen the candidates. They're not on site, never done that rotation with them. So LORs are playing a big role. Then the other factor which is playing a big role and will continue to play a big role in next season is home country experience. COVID related experience in your home country, that is definitely playing a huge role this year. So just so that you know what factors we have found are playing a big role. What is the safe number of interviews this year? Obviously, no one knows for sure, but 5 in a specialty is generally a good number. Many of our students have reported pre-match also. If they have 3 or 4, they get 5 and they are reporting pre-match. So 5 seems to be a good number. If you have prepared for the interviews, you should have no issues matching with 5 in a specialty, especially the IMG preferred specialties. Post-interview communication. Can you guide me a little bit about post-interview communication? We have covered this in another video, so we can put you a link down there on post-interview communication. But primarily, it will center around sending thank you emails, holiday card, letter of intent. Those would be something you can definitely focus on. So here's the link for post-interview communication that I just put in. Let me just now go on to the questions that are coming in. One more question. Is there still time to take step 3? Will it benefit me this season? Should I put myself to give the exam? And the answer is step 3 will always help. If you can take it now, say within, I don't know what the preparation level is, but if you can take it sometimes in January, there is still a possibility you can get the interviews in Feb. If you can take it by mid-Feb before the rank order list, it'll still help you because the programs may push you higher on the rank order list. So that's always a good idea. And even otherwise, if you match and you have step 3, then you become more open to the H-1B visa. So it can help. How different will SOAP be this time? So SOAP is the supplementary offer and accept. This process happens after the Monday of the match week for those of you who do not match in the main cycle. SOAP is traditionally very hard for IMGs because the IMG programs typically do not go into SOAP for the categorical specialties. They tend to fill up their spots in the match itself because their rank order list and all is longer. This time, what will happen? They may have interviewed more people, they may have longer lists. So it is unlikely that SOAP will differ, but always be prepared. This, like I said, is an uncertain season, unusual season. Who knows? You have to be prepared. We do have certain videos on SOAP. If you search on our YouTube website or Google USMLE Sarthi how to match in SOAP, you can get those tips. Uh, if it happens, better be prepared. Be ready with your iras application. Everything you have on your iras application you should know inside out. Be ready with the personal statement, because that is a very intense period. Finally, like I said, set up time with us for your profile review. I've already punched in that URL for you to help, and I'll take other questions as I see on these live stream. Does visa status and age matter for residency? This is coming from Jayesh Joshi. Visa status matters in the sense that if you have a green card or you're a citizen, more programs open up for you to apply. But it does not mean that if you need an H1 or a J1, you cannot match. Every year, the visa seeking applicants have more than 50% of the match rate. So it doesn't really matter for the match rate. Almost 50-60% of our students, or more than that, they don't need visa. Age matters to an extent. Yes, they always accept recent graduates, but last year we had a 20-year YOG match. This year we already had an out of cycle match for someone who graduated in 2009. So you can see that age can play a role, but if you have relevant experience, USCE, you can definitely match. Does MS in cell biology help? If you have done an MS from US, it will definitely help. If you have done a master's in India, it can also help. Definitely, it will depend on the choice of the field. So cell biology may lend itself more to pathology, but there are many students who do MS and match in internal medicine. When can one start doing rotations? Before step 1 or after step 1? Rotations, unfortunately, on-site rotations may be cancelled or suspended even this year. Many electives, if you are looking for US electives, university electives, they like to see step 1 score, especially the university ones, if they are open. So I think it's a good idea to do your step 1 and then start your rotations, because that way you can get some good electives. How can USMLE Sarthi help IMGs match to residency? By Rajesh Patel. So we help you in all aspects, whether it is your application, interview, mock interviews, personal statement. And we have also started a step 1 mentorship program that Dr. Puneet Reddy is running. So we help you with the step 1 preparation also, and we will try to do this weekly webinar so you can get more information about our services. But check on our website. If I take a gap and prepare for step 1 after my post-graduation, I am assuming you mean you have home country residency or some PG in India. Is it counted as a gap? Yes. Any non-clinical gap that you have 6 months or more is a gap. It should be avoided if you can. I'm a recent graduate in medicine, year of graduation 2016. Do I need research or can I do observership suffice for USCE? Now, 2016 for next year, which is 2021 September that you will apply, is on borderline. You're no longer a recent graduate. So you do need, in our opinion, strong USCE. Can be tele. You do need research, but if you are in your home country, try to work. That will definitely help you. But yes, you definitely need these things along with good scores. I have 4 years of gap, but I did 1 year internship and 2 years of compulsory government bonding job. How does that affect my match? Coming from Pavan Kumar Thada. So Your internship is not a gap. 2 years of compulsory government job is not a gap. So gap is doing nothing from a clinical side, sitting at home. So this is not a gap, right? So 2 years of compulsory government work and your internship is not a gap. Don't worry about it. Can I take my can I take break from my internship for clinical experience? Coming from Azhan. So the interesting thing here is most of the colleges in India that work on a 4.5 plus 1 year model. So 4.5, and then you have 1 year of internship. Most students in the previous years, over the past 5, 6, 7 years, have been able to take breaks, 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, whatever works with their programs at their college, to do electives. Electives are very, very powerful, and yes, they help, but don't take a break for 1 year or 2 years. So, reasonable break, the programs are okay because these rotations are very hard to find. Now, the trick is, are you able to find these rotations now with the COVID? If you're not able to find it now, then possibly telerotations can help. But in terms of taking a break from internship, many Indian students have done it. There shouldn't be an issue as long as your college is approving that, and as long as it's a reasonable break. There may be similar rules in other countries that we are not aware of. So check with your country if you're not from India. Can we update our CV in SOAP with more USCE? This is coming from Manthan Mirani. Unfortunately, the CV cannot be updated. It is still the ERAS CV. Now, SOAP can work differently. SOAP can work in a way that program can ask you separately once they initiate the contact. They can ask you, send us some documents separately outside of ERAS. So if they ask you to send it separately, you can definitely send them something in a Word document. Probably you can also update your personal statement. That is always allowed. So personal statement, you can always update and get done with it. There you can mention more USCE. And if they email you, they are interested in talking with you, then even in the email, you can update with more USCE. Next question is coming from Tabish Rahman. How about someone who graduated in 2018? Will he be considered a recent grad for next match? So let me tell you how this year of graduation works. Number one, there is no rule, right? So NRMP does not say that 3 year or 4 year is a recent grad. Programs make their own assessments. Now, some programs are okay with a up to 3 years. So up to 3 years, they are very okay with you. They consider your recent graduation. More programs are okay with 5 years. So up to 5 years also, they are okay. It is very hard to say which program is going to consider you as recent or not. But 2018 for almost all programs, you should be in a safe zone. Don't worry about it. 12th question from Mandeep Kaur. How long gap is significantly bad since I was at home due to COVID? So this is again an interesting question. Like I said, most of our students who are home have been working. COVID, for all the bad things it has done, has been very, very powerful this year from an experience perspective. Whether you're doing internship or doing job in your home country, please consider doing job. COVID experience is very powerful because in the US also it's the same. So they like to see what you're doing in COVID. Now, how much gap is bad? Anything more than 6 months will be considered, kind of a flag. So less than 6 months, you should still be okay. Next question, what are the requirements to do externship or observership? Is only CV required, or what other documents are required? So it varies. Externship or observership means you have already graduated. If you have already graduated, then there are only few programs. So for example, Larkin's Hospital in Florida, I think, they allow you sub internship. There are some other programs that allow you to do externship directly, and they are doing a residency program. So their requirements can vary. But the good news is a lot of affiliated clinics, these are the clinics that are affiliated to the residency program, you get LORs on the residency program letterhead. They are allowing you to do rotations even in COVID on site or on tele. Many of them are available on our website. The requirements vary. If you go through us, then we can help you with these individual requirements of what they need for your rotations. And you should plan to start rotations for next year now, next season. They tend to fill up easily. Okay, Azhan is asking another question that now I can read. I'm back to the screen reading the live chat. Will I get hands-on rotation during internship? And if it means you're doing your internship as part of your MBBS, say in India, yes, that is called elective. You can do it. You should do it. It is a very strong case of US experience that will help you. Okay, so I think I covered all the questions so far that you guys have had. So I will wait. We are waiting here. If you have certain questions, we can wait a couple of minutes. We have 3 or 4 minutes. The couple of things that I wanted to point out: profile review. Again, I posted this link for profile review. You can set up a free review with our team using this link if you are interested in next year's match. We do have step one mentorship. There is a Telegram group for step one also. We do run a free group for the match. We will post the link, or Dr. Praneeth can post the link for both the Telegram groups. That'll give you good information. We do have another link that I want to point out, which is a lot of blogs we have, a free calculator where you can assess the probability of the match. That's another question we get. How can I match easily? Here are my scores. So I'm going to post that. You can take a look on these blogs. And then, because I think someone called MB has the question, what is the probability of matching if my step one and step two score is around 254, year of graduation 2000? On the face of it, excellent. I can tell you with these scores, you will definitely, if you play your cards right, with a 254, year of graduation 2000, you've done some electives. Even if you've not done electives, if you can do Telerotations or USCE, you are looking at least 10-15 interviews. You will match, but check up that probability calculator that we have. Do telerotations carry the same weight as that of in-person observership? Now, let me point out that telerotations are of two types. One is where actually very similar to what you would do in an on-site rotation, on-site externship, which means you are assigned patient over Zoom, you do patient history, you interact with patient, you carry out the management plan, you put in your notes in the EMR. So in that case, the telerotations are very, very helpful. We have had, like I said, more than 150 students this year do telerotation in the interviews. The programs are not discriminating against telerotations, so it's a very strong experience. On-site observership means you're just observing the patient. You're shadowing the physician. There are telerotations which are only didactic based. You can do it. Now the question is, what are your options? If you are getting on-site rotations, which are externships, you can do it. If you're already in the US, many rotations are open, and you can look up our website. But if you're not getting on-site rotations, if you're not able to travel, don't waste your time, because telerotations are working. They are very strong. You should not waste your time for the next season. It's only 9 months away. So you should try to do it. Would you advise doing rotations before step one? If you have not taken step one yet, I am assuming you're not going to apply for 2021 September. So you have time. focus on step one, get a good step one score, and then you can decide to do rotations. However, like I said, telerotations are a very flexible option. If you have time, get used to some of these US healthcare system quirks. You can start with a telerotation, or you can do your step one now, focus on step one, get a good score, and then apply for rotations as well. Either way should be fine. Aninda Nandula is asking, my step one score is 210, 3 LORs from USCE, year of graduation 2020. How can I improve? Excellent question. So let's see what you cannot change. You cannot obviously change your score in step one. You cannot change your year of graduation. USCE, of course, when you say 3 LORs from USCE, now we are talking another 9 months. So get some more USCE. If you can travel to US, travel. Otherwise, get some USCE. CK score obviously is going to be very, very important. A 240 plus CK score will help you. Home country work experience, if you are, I'm assuming you're in India. If you are in India, work in a busy hospital, get a lot of COVID experience. That will help you. You can do self-directed research. That will help you, because by the time September comes along, you would have published. Look up our website on research options. These are some of the things you can do. And Dr. Reddy is posting this link for the match. Look up this Telegram group that we host. This is free. You can join. Can a graduate or a post intern get on-site telerotations? I don't know what on-site telerotations means, as they're not eligible for electives. Yes, any graduate can do telerotations. Now, when you say on-site telerotations by definition mean even if you're on-site, you're not going to physically be in the same room as the patient. There are these safety issues that many of the programs have set up. So on-site telerotation will still mean that on a day-to-day basis, you see patients remotely. You can interact with the faculty, obviously, if you're on-site. But yes, as a graduate, you are eligible for telerotations. You are eligible for internship, for externship also. Look up our website. Tabish Rahman is asking, is there a cutoff for how old the LOR can be? That's a great question. The more recent the LOR, the better it is. There is no hard and fast rule on how old the LOR can be. Typically, you can still use a 1-year-old US LOR. So let's say you are applying in September 2022. Any experience done after September 2021, or maybe even August and all that should be fine. But as a thumb rule, the more recent the LOR, the more recent the experience, that is more important. That is not the date of the LOR. Good question from Mandeep. Is externship same as hands-on experience except the amount of documents required? And you are right. If it is not an elective, yes, the externship is called hands-on experience. Yes. Which institutions are allowing clinical electives in March to May of 2021? If you are looking for directly these institutions like Harvard, Mayo, Cleveland Clinic, you have to check with them. Because of the COVID, it is being very uncertain. They have, gone back and forth. We don't know how the situation pans out. But with our affiliate models, you can see where our physicians are doing it, what LORs you will get. That we can tell you on our website. Is post-graduation in medicine helpful for residency? I'm assuming you mean home country residency. If you're talking home country residency, then yes, it is very impactful. It is very useful. But don't do a home country residency now and wait another 3 years. If you're already doing a home country residency, then yes, you should finish it if you have only 6 months to 1 year left, and do this USMLE. Then it'll be very helpful. What happens after 3 years, we don't know. But yes, in general, home country residency is very, very useful. Okay, so we've come towards the end of this 35 minutes. Hopefully, your questions were answered. We are glad to help you in your journey. Subscribe to this channel. We do have obviously Telegram group like Dr. Praneeth just mentioned. Next year we will go live. Next week, I'm sorry, we will be live with some more information about your step exam, productivity, things like that. We'll try to do it the same time. There is also an Instagram that we have, so you can follow us on Instagram. The ID is very simple, USMLE Sarthi on Instagram. So you can follow us on Instagram as well. Any other questions we can take either after this video ends or next week. So good luck to all of you, and let us know as always if you have any questions. And a happy new year to all of you again. Thank you. Bye everyone.